I wanted to create a place where women can come to be empowered by other women. Women helping women, with interviews of extraordinary and inspiring leaders, artists, celebrities, and changemakers who have overcome great challenges to become incredibly successful and then give back to others so that they can love and believe in themselves, follow their bliss, and shine their light. In this way, we can truly be the change we wish to see in the world. Welcome to the Orgina Rose Show. Hello everyone and welcome to the show. My guest today is truly an extraordinary being in that he is a divorce attorney, but he helps people go through the divorce process in the before, during, and after phase of that journey. So please welcome to the show, Anthony Diaz.
Thank you so much for having me. It's so great to be here.
Thank you so much for coming and really sharing your light and the wisdom that you have about this sometimes very painful journey that many people unfortunately have had and are having.
Absolutely.
So tell us a little bit about how you've come to this work.
Well, this has been a journey and process over many, many years. I grew up being a peacemaker, and I was always the person that people came to resolve conflicts and challenges, though I didn't know it at the time. And there was one moment in my life that really shifted things and made a difference in my life, and I'd like to share that with you.
Please, absolutely.
So I had gotten divorced about 10 years ago, and that was a very painful process. A lot of emotions, not very different than what most people go through.
Right, right.
But here I am as an attorney, I thought it's going to be easy. And it wasn't. It was probably one of the most difficult experiences of my life.
Yeah.
About a year later, I moved back to Orlando, and I went to a conference to see Wayne Dyer. And somebody I've admired for many years, has been an inspiration in my life.
Yes.
And I'm listening to him and watching his transformation and the transition that he made to be a more mindful person. So I'm listening to him, and it felt like it was just him and I there. And he was talking about how he went from painful experiences, and he shared the tools and practices that he used to get to that point. So I'm just soaking all this in. I'm writing notes. The words are just flying off the pen. And I just felt so moved at the end of his talk, and I felt like I got what I needed. So the talk was over, and I got up to leave, and I turned around, and there was my ex-wife. And I didn't know she was going to be there, but she knew I was going to be there to watch and see Wayne Dyer.
Okay.
And she walked up to me, and she just hugged me.
Wow.
And that moment just transformed my life. And then she just left. And it left me with this just amazing feeling and reinforcement that the gift of forgiving is forgiving.
I love that. Yes.
And
yes.
You know, from that point on, I realized that I had a calling, and that was to take the practices that helped me to go through my divorce and the experience, and to help guide people from pain to the peace that they deserve.
What a powerful journey that is, in that here you went from being a peacemaker to going through quite a bit of pain, right? Not
Yes,
a peaceful situation.
Absolutely.
But actually allowing that to be a wonderful journey to help you to bring those two together for yourself and then help others do the same.
You know, there are no coincidences in life.
I completely agree with that.
And we're all presented with situations for a reason.
Yes. Yes.
And if we can pay attention to those experiences, we can use them to help us and to use them for the messages that we need in our life.
Yeah, if we can, what I like to say is ask what's the lesson. I remember really that has been a practice for so much of my life. What is the lesson in this? Rather than the, oh, poor me and why and all of that. What is the lesson? And let me get it quickly.
Exactly.
Right.
And it's that asking.
Mm-hmm.
It's asking for it. And we're not taught that.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
we're taught to, when we're in pain, well, we cry, or we just stay in that place,
Mm-hmm.
and to be empowered to know that we don't have to stay in that place,
Right.
that we can ask for our highest good,
Mm-hmm.
and to be able to be open to receive it,
Yes.
is something that all of us have either learned or are on a journey to learn.
Yes, and there's, I think, a third one in there around we either, you know, stay in it, cry, and that sort of thing, or sometimes lash out, which is
Absolutely.
exactly, I'm sure, what you've experienced in the divorce process.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of lashing out.
Well, there is, you know, whether we like it or not, divorce is a high emotion experience, and it's painful for a lot of people. And the shift is to be able to go from that painful situation
Yes,
and to not respond in that.
in the typical way that,
Exactly.
that most people do.
And because it's an automatic response.
Yeah.
So we're not trained to do that, to not to respond. We're trained to act from that place. And the gift is being able to do something different and respond differently.
I love that, and that's where your work comes in. So rather than react, we get to do something different, because you say pain is not necessary in that process, right? Suffering is not necessary in that.
Pain, well, we've all heard that quote,
Right.
which is famous, and a lot of us buy into that, that pain is inevitable and suffering is optional.
Right.
It's
Heard that.
cute, it's catchy, and
Right.
all
Seems
that.
to have a good ring of truth.
It has had a ring of truth, and
Mm-hmm.
it's one of those things when you speak something, you can attract it into your life.
Yes.
But I look at the process of pain differently, and that pain is optional, and suffering is not necessary.
I love that, and we're going to get into exactly what you mean by that. I love that. Don't you love that? We'll find out exactly what Anthony means right after this. We'll be right back.
What truly sets you apart from your competition? Do you know the answer? Most business owners don't, and the truth is, it's what can make or break your business. Every business wants it, but few know how to get it, and that is instant recognition. The kind you get when you hear a slogan, some piece of music, or even see a logo that brings a specific brand to mind. Many businesses and organizations spend a great deal of time and energy on the visual and forget the audio. Just like you would never send out a print piece without your logo on it, we recommend all your audio should be branded with an audio logo. These are simple and relatively inexpensive to create and help you develop a consistency that most others lack. Think about some of your favorite audio logos. McDonald's with ba-da-ba-ba-ba, I'm loving it. Or NBC with or any of the others you might know. Build consistency with it and take it across your TV, web, and live events for maximum benefit. Contact us today to find out how you can get your very own customized audio jingle with our empowering music branding.
Welcome back to the show. We are here with Anthony Diaz, who is both a divorce attorney and a peacemaker, all in one. So Anthony, I just love the ways in which you are showing up and the journey that you help so many people with, this journey of divorce. And you have a wonderful take on that quote that we all know and have heard many, many times about pain being optional, no, pain being inevitable.
And suffering is optional.
Suffering is optional, but you say
Pain is optional. Suffering is not necessary.
which I love. So do tell, how did you come across and upon that statement for yourself?
Well, in my work in guiding people from pain to peace, the ultimate goal is to have the peace that all of us have, and some of us have gotten lost along the way. So if we can embrace that pain is optional, we don't have to be in pain. We can make another choice. right?
What an idea.
Exactly.
What a concept.
What a concept.
There's a choice.
But you know, throughout the years, we've gone through a lot of painful experiences,
Right.
and we just accept that that's just part of life. It doesn't have to be. That doesn't mean that we can't hurt sometimes,
Right.
and things happen that disappoint us and maybe make us unhappy, but we don't have to be in pain. So the people I work with, I've been so blessed to be able to see them not accept pain in their life and to look at situations that maybe they're unhappy about, but to look at it as a lesson. And what is the message here?
Yes.
And that if by looking at pain as being an option, that you have a choice, then the suffering that normally goes along with it is not necessary. You don't have to suffer.
So you really can make a different choice.
You can. I mean, it's just one of those things that if it's something that you either want or don't want, you have a choice. We all have choices, and being in pain is one of them.
I hear that. That's a powerful statement, because I think you're right. It is so built into the fabric of life, as we have been taught how we're to live it, that pain is just an automatic, natural thing that we're all going to experience.
And especially for people going through divorce. A lot of
Yes.
people get their armor on. It's like, okay, I'm ready for the fight now.
Right.
Let's just bring it on.
Yes.
And so of course, when you want that, you invite it, and that's the outcome that you experience.
So tell us then, what is it about divorce that is so painful? Why do so many experience so much pain through a divorce?
Well, whether we like it or not, divorce is an ending. It's a loss. It is like a death.
Yes. Yes.
And there are emotions that go along with a loss. And we know about the 7 stages of loss
grief.
and the grief and all that.
Yes.
Well, those stages still happen in the process of divorce.
Yes.
And people, and I've been divorced, so I know, don't want to go through that. Who wants to go through grief
7
and
stages.
anger?
Right.
When am I getting to the end?
Right.
So there's a lot of emotion involved, and the immediate reaction is to go to that place of pain. And it's being able to take a step back and say, you know what? This is not how I want this movie to end. It's going to end, but I have a choice of what that ending looks like.
Love that. Love that. So you can write your script, right? Write your script for how you want it to look.
You are the director of your life in any situation. And many of us have experienced the divorce experience, and some people say it's unfortunate, and I don't know if it's unfortunate or not. We're all on our path, but we can make it better. You know, divorce may not be easy, but it doesn't have to be hard.
Right.
And by being able to take a step back and look at it as, what do I want the outcome to be? If I want to go through this process with dignity, and that's one of the things I help people do, is to divorce with dignity.
That's good. That's good.
I need to look at things differently
Yeah. Yeah.
and to respond as opposed to reacting. That's very different.
Very, very big difference there. Yes. So then it naturally follows we want to know how to respond versus react in a really painful ending. So we're going to touch on that in a moment, but before we do, I want to ask you, what are some examples of people who have actually had a non-painful divorce?
Well, one of the ways to go through that, and there's a process called the collaborative divorce, and that's when you've chosen to go through the divorce process without going to court. And a lot of people aren't aware of this, but the late Robin Williams, when he went through his divorce many years ago, he announced at the end of the process with his ex-wife and his children, they had a news conference, and they announced the divorce and announced that they went through that process without having to go to court. And it was a beautiful portrait of a family that is still together to raise their children,
Right.
but just not in the same household.
Not in the same way.
And it was a great message for people who are going through the divorce process, even people that have gone through it, to know
Yes.
that they can make a different choice, that they don't have to, it doesn't have to be a fight,
Right.
and it doesn't have
It's
to be a
big
lot of
war.
anger. Exactly,
Yeah.
like the movie War of the Roses.
War of the Roses.
As
That's
we
a
all know
classic.
about. Exactly,
Yes.
and that's the extreme, and many cases are like that. So
Yeah.
that story touched me to help me to carry the torch, knowing that there could be divorce with dignity.
I love that, divorce with dignity. I mean, obviously, we would all love for it to not even exist, right? Is what we think would be the highest. But sometimes it is called for. It is part of the highest and best for some situations, and that it can be done with dignity.
Yes.
So I can't wait to hear how you're going to share with some of us who really want to know how can that happen, right?
Absolutely.
And already have something, and because some of our audience members may be going through that very situation as we speak, or they're contemplating it. And again, your work is the before, during, and after. Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for being with us today on our show. I really hope that there was something shared that really helps you shine your biggest and brightest light. Please stop by again, like us on Facebook, tweet us, all of those good things. And most importantly, please always remember, it's all about love.